Hello and welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast with me and the illustrious Keith.
Okay, hi. That's a new one.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to figure out, as I said, if I compliment you, it throws you. It really does. Out of all the things I can say to you, a compliment's the thing that can get you going. What have I done wrong?
Yeah. Usually it's an insult. Yeah.
Yeah. He's usually Jabba the Hutt's favourite cousin.
Right. Yes.
We have.
Hi.
Ooh, hi.
Yeah. We're live on a different day, just to confuse you.
Yeah. I had a barbecue to attend to yesterday, and it's bank holiday here, so Keith is just lazy.
Yeah. Poor you. In theory, though, I don't know if we're going to get anybody in the chat today because Biffa, look at that, always Biffa, reliable. I was just worrying if there was going to be no one in the chat today because Monday, but it's Memorial Day in the US, so it is a holiday. It's a holiday. Anyway, hi Biff. Right, what are we talking about, sir?
So we've got a couple of pieces of news, and then we're going to talk about episode 1. And then we're going to talk about we're going to talk about Dark Matter first on Apple, then episode 1.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, or episode 2, Clone Wars. We'll probably have a rant about Dog 2 in between them.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Because we have strong thoughts on it, and we were talking about it, and I figured, if we sandwich it right in the middle, that's not so bad. So, shall we get on with the news?
Yes, let's.
Okay. I can't get. Oh, there you go. I'll have. I just like saying no, Keith. Netflix's sci-fi hit Three Body Problem fans are excited to hear about renewal, but the announcements left many questions unanswered, and we'll explore some of these today. So, they're talking about another series. You can do 3 series, and then there's a spin-off book, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but written by somebody else, although authorized by him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I heard the other week or the other day it was getting a second season, but only a second season, and that they felt like they could wrap it up in the second season, and alarm bells started ringing because it's like, this is Game of Thrones season 8, but already.
Dude, they've got a lot to fucking cover.
Well, it depends if they go full pelt, if they do the full thing, because arguably, the first season makes for an interesting TV show. Although now, having read the book, they cut a hell of a lot out. Like they haven't done anything from like the perspective of the aliens, which the book goes into, which I wasn't expecting. Like, in fact, the last third of the fucking book is not from the human perspective; it's from the alien perspective, which is again quite interesting. But now it kind of arguably the second book is of some interest. I don't know where. Yeah, I don't know. But they're not saying now. And then I read this article today, and now they're not really being very clear, which again worries me because these are the people that bought us Game of Thrones, but they are also the people that bought us Game of Thrones season 8.
The problem, my biggest problem is I don't like the books because they're miserable.
I didn't think the first book was
No, they're
miserable.
miserable. They're utterly miserable. They really are more miserable. They're miserable. So miserable.
I
It's
found
called
it.
The Remembrance of Earth's Past. That's how the trilogy is referred to, not the Three Body Problem. The
Yeah,
Remembrance of Earth's Past, which means we don't win.
yeah, um, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I just, it's one of these ones where I'm not too. It's like the second Hyperion book. The first one's really good. The second one's shit in comparison to the first one. Um,
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, the TV series that they introduced these characters, they arguably split one character out into these different characters, and they have spun it in a different way. So it depends on how they're going to do it. You know, I don't know if they're going to go completely down the route of the books.
they have to go. They can't not go down the route of the books. Seriously, the books that there for the Three Body Problem show like really kind of like high end sci-fi concepts that you don't normally see anywhere.
Mm,
That was the
yeah,
big appeal of it, yeah. The idea
mm,
of the sophons, which I find really irritating as a concept. The reason I find it really irritating is that if it's a proton, wouldn't it just get fucking caught by any like an electron or something, or annihilated by it? If it gets into the last place it wants to get into is particle fucking accelerator. Yeah, because it gets in particle accelerator, it gets held in place by the giant fucking superconducting magnets. I don't get that bit. That drives me nuts. But I get the idea, and I get the threat, and I get the the concept in that. But if and the Dark Forest, which answers Fermi's paradox, which is a great answer to Fermi's paradox. Yeah, if there's aliens out there, why can't we hear them? Where are they? What are they doing? Who are they? Yeah, that's great. But if you're gonna, what do you call it? If you're gonna skip over a lot of other bits in there, yeah, because you got the teardrops ships that happen
mm-hmm.
later on in the series, which I kind of I got a little annoyed with because they should be heavy as fuck to do what they do. Yeah, and they must have some kind of propulsion in there or some kind of way of. Anyway, I'm into spoiler territories here. And then you've got is it the singer, the one that finishes off Earth, the singer race? Is it called
There is another
something
race
along those
that
lines?
does it, yeah, but I don't know how they're going to end this, and I'm not convinced they're going to end it the same way as they did in the books. I mean, for instance, him, he is the, he's like two characters. I think he's made up of like almost two characters in the book, and he's more interesting than the book.
Yeah,
You know,
I yeah.
the love
That
story between her and Transfer Dude, again, interesting. Now that is in the book. The love story is there.
Oh yeah, because he his end is fucking spectacular,
Yeah.
isn't it? He yeah tries running away, Captain Runaway, and then when he gets caught out. Anyway, I don't know the three body problem. It's interesting, but I don't like the story. I don't like the story. That's my problem. That is my
Yeah, but the
problem with it.
Netflix series was quite good, and I liked how the end of the first season. And this is the thing: the first season finishes on a hopeful thing. So it's like, are they really going to do this? I mean, are they really?
They would not be honouring the source material if they didn't.
Yes, but I don't think they're going to, because I don't know how they can. Because I mean, what it's being a novel is one thing; a TV series is an entirely different thing. Um, and this is be worse than Infinity War. And Infinity War was always going to have a sequel where they undid it. So there is no such thing here. Although Infinity War was not undone properly. We'll get onto that. I remain skeptical on this. I also don't like the fact that there seems to be multiple different stories around. Is it getting one more season? Is it getting 2 seasons? Is it getting a season in a film? These are the guys who had one of the world's most successful series and only made 6 episodes and basically took an entire dump on it. That is partly not their fault. That's partly down to the fact that there is a lazy fucking tosser that still has not written the final books and is talking about writing other stories. Never going to happen. That book is never coming out.
I think the success of the TV series is what caused that to not happen.
Potentially,
because what everyone's got in their head is going to be far better whatever than he can write down, and he knows it. It really does, and he's like, kind of, if I don't do it,
you got to. I mean, it's not going to be that difficult to do something better than season 8.
Now, yeah, but it was. They did hit the points. Maybe they hit them incorrectly, in the wrong order, with the wrong motivation, with the wrong setup. But he said that they did hit the correct points. So Bran becomes king of Westeros. Dany goes mental. Okay, they fucked that because that should have been like a slow kind of thing they could have done. And then Wazzy's mission was going to return to the wall. That's what he had planned. That's what he said. Basically, wank.
I don't think it's ever coming out, but I think he's conned people. It annoys me in many ways. But House of Dragon season 2 is coming, but they can't make many more seasons of that because we know what happens. It's kind of obvious. They wipe each other out. So
that's true.
But I still think that there is an episode of House of Dragon that if you've not watched, you have to watch, and it is Matt Smith just fucking taking. You have to watch it. It is 20 minutes of some epic television, and it is Matt Smith fucking owning it. And it's when he takes on that army and fucking dicks on all of them. It's just fucking epic. House of Dragon was good. Good.
Okay, all right. So let's move on. Let's move on to our next story because when it comes to the 3-body problem, it's very simple. I don't like the story. You think it's only going to get another season, and then you're going to think they're going to try and wrap up 2 entire books where a lot of stuff happens.
Yes, I don't think they are. But then I thought, well, they're going to end it in a different way. Are they going to tell the story in a different way? And I don't know. Is the answer to that?
All right, let's get on to the next one.
Hi, this is Nigel, and I'm talking in my lovely narrator's voice. Bask in its loveliness. But don't bask for too long. We need your help. Come to YouTube and watch our...
The latest development in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the return of Vision in a new Disney Plus series starring Paul Bettany with Terry Matalas as showrunner. See, is someone winding me up here?
Nope. It's real.
It's real. Do you think they watched Star Trek and went, Terry Matalas, he doesn't make an interesting TV series?
I went, oh fuck, right? Well, because I didn't hear about the Terry Matalas connection at first. I was ready to go, right? Oh fucking what? Really? Another one? I mean, I thought WandaVision was shit. They followed that up by killing her, and turning her into a bad person, which I know she has her moments in the comics and blah blah blah. But the the movie version of her, it just didn't fit the character that they had created, and. Look, I didn't like WandaVision very much. And I thought, well, what are you going to do with Vision? And then, so I was thinking about that, and I was like, ready to talk about that this week. And then, I think it was yesterday, I heard Terry Matalas is directing this or writing this. I went, okay, now I'm slightly interested.
Mm.
You see, here's the thing, right? I really liked his series 12 Monkeys. I fucking love 12 Monkeys actually. And I've rewatched it and I still fucking love 12 Monkeys. TV series was awesome. Right? Really, really fucking good TV series. And he was really good at Picard season 3, fucking awesome. Was it the best Star Trek ever? No, but it was bloody good. Is Terry Matalis going to save Marvel?
No, because he'll save him for one series and then they'll get rid of him.
Yeah.
So let's enjoy that one series that he does. What is he going to do? So Paul Bettany's back.
Yeah.
It was actually Paul Bettany's wife recently in Dark Matter, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, it's set to come out in 2026, so can't wait. It's because there's the other things coming out because we're still waiting for Agatha All Along,
I know.
Ironheart, and Daredevil Born Again, which they had scrapped the entire series that they filmed, which probably cost them $80 million, and they're going all over again. And hopefully we'll have Foggy and Karen and the others in it. But I have no idea what they're going to do. I really have no idea what they're going to do with this because it's like it's not. You could do. What I really want, is I want a Batman detective series on TV. Big expensive Batman detective series where Batman is a detective, goes around, and then end of the episode dresses up Batman, saves the fucking day, beats the shit out of people, music sort of thing. Yeah, boom. Right. What can Vision do that will give us an interesting storyline or character?
Well, he's kind of like Marvel's Superman in some ways, and
I thought it was Hyperion.
Well, but Vision's pretty fucking powerful. He can fly. He can do all sorts of shit. The only person that could really kill him was Wanda or Thanos. And Hyperion. Thanos could only kill him because he had most of the stones. He has a fucking Infinity Stone. Now, the Vision died, and then we got another white Vision. Who at the end of WandaVision flew off with all of Vision's memories in there. So I don't know. It's either going to be something really weird. Because, look, I didn't like WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was shit.
I thought it started off well and then just fucking screwed the pooch right at the end. Because if they'd done it well, they would have pulled the X-Men in, and that would have been a brilliant setup. Because we would have gone, hey! But they didn't. They decided, what's his name? Boner? They made a fucking dick joke. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
It just it didn't work for me. And it was a signal that Marvel was going to be shit, and it has been shit ever since. And I don't know.
Right. I don't know what they're going to do with it. That's my biggest problem. It's like Daredevil. Okay, I can fucking write you a series of Daredevil. That's how much I think you can do with Daredevil. Agatha All Along. Nobody wants Agatha. Nobody wants Agatha. We want. If you did Negasonic Teenage Witch TV series, which was like a teen comedy set in the X-Men mansion, that would be more appealing. Yes. And I think you'd watch that, Keith, too. That's the worst thing. I think you could watch that. You could have very lots of fun. You could even maybe twist Ryan Reynolds' arm to be in it. You've got that, and then you've got Ironheart. No one wants Ironheart. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wants it. Yeah, there are many diverse characters in the X-Men let alone the Marvel universe, that you could have picked. Yeah, you could do a TV series about Storm. I'm British. I'd love to watch a woman be able to control the weather. That's awesome. That's the one thing we want. Come here, come live here in the UK. Make sure it's always sunny. Yeah, the grass needs watering. That sort of thing. But I don't know why. Terry Matalis, I've got faith in, but a fucking Vision TV series. What's there? Seriously, what are we gonna get from that? It's like who thought that's a good idea? Let's not pick a fucking A-list or B-list or C-list. It's fucking Z-list. I'm sorry, Vision fans, if you exist.
Yeah, this is the thing I don't understand. I don't get what they're doing. I don't understand. You know Marvel's in trouble. You've talked about quality. You've admitted that it's been bad, and now you're bringing out a Vision series. I mean, he was an interesting character, but he was a supporting character. He was like this B-role character that couldn't really. He's not one of the tent peg characters. It's not like
no, he wasn't. He was just. He was part. It wasn't. No, he was crap. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
crap.
Right.
It's right.
But
just think of a Marvel. Yeah, go on.
I have real no. I mean, the more I think about it, the only real Marvel series that I enjoyed throughout was Hawkeye, and that's saying something. And it wasn't particularly great, but at least it had something that the other series didn't. I mean, it had Haley Seinfeld, and she is incredibly charismatic. And I know there's a lot of complaints out there, and I get them, and I understand them. But it was, I didn't ask for this. Well, I didn't ask for anything Marvel, to be honest, and I certainly didn't ask for this. I don't understand it, but it has got Terry Metalis attached to it. So let's see what the trailer does. But 2026, which means there's no legacy. I can't. I mean, those fucking people at Paramount need to be beaten.
Well, the rumors are they're selling it, aren't they? They're selling just Star Trek, though. I can't remember. I can't remember. It's not Apple who's buying it, though. I can't remember.
The first thing I want them to do is cancel Academy because no one's asking for it. I mean, you bloody well cancelled Discovery because no one's watching it. As much as I'd like to say that Strange New Worlds isn't being watched by people, unfortunately, it is. But just get rid of it. Get rid of these fucking cartoons. Get rid of this and just fucking make Legacy. You can make it for half the bloody budget of Discovery, and more people will watch. And I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's one of those things. All right, let's move on to another one before you have an aneurysm.
You're listening to the Monkey Nut Punch Pod.
So, in the latest news from the box office, focusing on the incredible day one pre-sales for Deadpool and Wolverine, with 8 million in advanced ticket sales. This film is already breaking records for R-rated movies and is set to be one of the summer's biggest hits. So, I'm going to watch it. This is the only film I'm interested in. Film I'm going to be interested in. It's got nothing to do with Disney, though. It's all the fact that I watched the previous Deadpools and they were fun and so forth and so on. But, yeah.
It's, there's going to be people out going, Marvel is saved. This isn't Marvel saved. This is going to be a bit of member berries because of Hugh Jackman and because people like Ryan Reynolds. I mean, funny enough, I watched X-Men Days of the Future Past yesterday, right? And it was better than I remember. And I don't know if that's because I've, seen what's shit now. And when that first came out, Marvel were making really good movies. And now, but Days of the Future Past was better than I remember it being. And it made me go, actually, I really want to see this Deadpool movie now more. My concern is that Feige has had control over this, and you hear him turn down 14 things. There's a story out that Feige fucking told Hugh Jackman not to come back, and blah blah blah. And these stories are coming out. It's like none of these stories paint Feige in a good light. Personally, I think the guy should be fired, but there we go.
What do you call it? You don't have to paint Feige in good light. Just have a look at his fucking track record. The moment he got full control, everything went downhill.
Well, it's exactly what I say. Since he started slapping his name on the movies, they've been shit.
Yeah.
I hope this is good. I hope Reynolds has regained control. I hope when we're sitting here in a few weeks' time after we've reviewed this and gone, it was really good.
Do you know Rob McElhenney's in it?
Who's that?
He's the guy he bought Wrexham Football Club with.
Oh,
He's
okay,
dressed up as one of the TVA, so you can't see him.
brilliant.
So, just to give you some context, yeah, the Batman that came out was 15, so that's R-rated for the Americans. Its pre-sales were 6.5 million. Guardians of the Galaxy, which wasn't R-rated, pre-sales was 6 million, and John Wick Chapter 4, pre-sales were 1.4 million. So 8 million is pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, it shows that people want to go and see this film, but people love the Deadpool movies. People love Wolverine, love Hugh Jackman, and it's been something that both Deadpool movies have teased since, and I'm up for it. I'm definitely going to go, day one. I'm going to go and see it, and I'm hoping it's going to be really, really good. But this is not a Marvel film. I don't see it as a Marvel. I mean, Marvel are going to slap their fucking badge on it, and we're going to have the Marvel fucking music at the beginning. Hopefully, they do something funny like Deadpool ruins it.
Yeah.
If Deadpool ruins the Marvel intro, that'd be fine. I like it in the trailer. I did like the trailer. The trailer was a fucking good trailer, right? And the fact that Feige said we can't talk about cocaine, and then they do this whole they go through every freaking slang word for cocaine possible, gives me some hope.
Yeah. So just having a look at it, the other films out. Get excited, Keith. Inside Out 2. That's going to flop hard. Despicable Me 4, which I think will be relatively successful.
It's got fucking minions
Twisters
in it. It's got minions.
Yeah.
Now, you see, right, look, I'm going to say this. The latest trailer for Twisters was pretty good, right? And, I mean, Laurie's in the chat, and I was talking to Chuck the other day, right? I actually like the original Twister movie. Like, I do too. Really like that. Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, right? Unfortunately, Bill Paxton can't come back because he's passed away, but Helen Hunt's going to be in it. I'm going to go and see this nostalgia, and the trailer kind of looked good and made me want to go, I want to go and see this. I actually think Twisters is going to do well. I think Twisters is going to do. I think it's going to do well because it was one of those movies that people do remember, and they went, "Oh, I like Twister. Oh yeah, I like that movie. Oh, that was a good movie." It kind of was a fucking good movie, and I know the trailer again been cut quite well.
Okay, all right. So, you know what? We'll watch the trailer in a moment. Just give it a look over. For me, when it comes to this, this is not Disney Marvel. That's the first thing. It's not a Disney Marvel film. It's a Ryan Reynolds film, and it's a comedy duo where you've got Wolverine's a straight man and Ryan Reynolds is the funny man, and that's gonna work. Yeah, with some violence thrown in there too.
I think so. I mean, you see them stabbing the shit. Wolverine stabbing him, and like Deadpool stabbing him too. So I think there's going to be some. I think it's going to be good. I mean, I like the trailer. I love the fact they take the piss out of the bar scene, which has been used in like so many Wolverine, movies with Hugh Jackman. I love the fact that Deadpool takes a piss out of that. And we need some Deadpool. We need some of Ryan Reynolds.
Some funny
quip again.
Yes.
But this is not the savior of the MCU. And I hope there's no real MCU stuff in it or world building crap in it. This needs to be standalone outside the the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they've got to they've really got to think about what they're going to do with the MCU. This is the only Marvel movie coming out this year. Yeah. I don't know what we're meant to be getting next year, but they've really got to radically rethink what they're doing, which is why the Vision series doesn't make any sense. No, they announced like these Avengers movies, but then Kang got banged up. The rumor is what's his face, Gus, the actor that plays Gus from Breaking Bad,
Esposito.
Yeah, is playing Kang.
So he would have worked better from the start.
Yes, he would have.
He's got that cold intelligence that Kang's got.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And I was like,
you know what? I would skip that and just make it fucking Doctor Doom. I would introduce Doctor Doom in the Avengers. I would go. We've got a bad guy. We can use Doctor Doom. We can use Apocalypse, if you really wanted. You've got bad guys now. Yeah, you could put Sinister in there. There are other bad guys that you can use. Yeah, and then you could slip in a few X-Men here and there along the way. But
I would throw. If I were Disney, right? If I were Disney, I'd go along to. I'd go along to what's his face, Robert Downey Jr. and go, here's 100 million. I'll go over to Captain America. What's his face actor? Is 100 million, right? Bring you two guys back, and we do a movie where they come back. And when we're doing that, we introduce the X-Men. Then we have X-Men versus the Avengers. X-Men versus the Avengers. That's what you should have done right from the fucking start. Because that would have eclipsed everything.
Hang on. You need to set up that because
you
in the Marvel universe,
Gareth,
mutants seems a pain in the ass. No, you can't because they haven't set the X-Men up. You need to introduce them.
But Endgame, right? Ends, right? Endgame ends. What do you do? Right, we've got everyone's dead. What do we do? Let's reset. What do we use Disney Plus for? Oh, Miss Marvel kind of did it really clumsily. We could have used those to introduce mutants, right? We could have done that quietly, and then we could have started building up with some new films and some thing, and then we kind of gone, then we do this big tentpole film where the TVA comes in, and Loki comes in, and inadvertently saves Iron Man. There's all these things they could have fucking done, but no, we had politics.
Right. What they should have done is they should have done the snap, and it brought everyone back and kind of reset, but fucked the universe up slightly and put the X-Men universe in with it. But they didn't. Keith, they're not going to do it.
We already hinted at Magneto. We hinted at him. We hinted at his existence, right? Yeah, I see. I'm getting excited about it. I know it's going to be shit, but
just right. Let's do the comments.
Yeah.
Here comes the music. Right. So, Mrs. Hello, Mrs.
Hello, Tanner.
Biffa, first in. Hello. We got Furiosa tanked at the box office. Lol. I think people are no longer enamored with films that are made now. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, because Fall Guy was a good film. Wasn't a great film, was a good film, but because it was just a good film, not many people got excited. We've got a like from Babster. Hello. You really had on spot, Keith, platform. I quickly ran away.
I was probably sitting online for a while before.
Oh, okay.
Fine.
Wow, finger fail. Insert nearly had me on. Oh, for fuck's sake, hello. Well, it's poor typing, we'll put it down to. If they're about to, then should really keep stum. Let's talk about spoilers for Three Body Problem. It's a miserable book, guys. Trust me, at the end of it, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel the opposite. You're going to feel that nothing's worth it. Everything's pointless. Maybe, just maybe, you should just give up on life. That's why I spoiled it, because it's not fun. I got a Nige. Hello, Nigel.
It's a Nigel. It's a lesser spotted rare Nige.
It's a lesser spotted Nige. Right, I watched the trailer to it.
I watched it.
You watched it?
I watched it.
It looked like a shit Titanfall movie. So
Dude,
I didn't bother.
It's so shit, it's entertaining. I don't watch the new J-Lo movie. It's got J-Lo in it, right? Do you think it's going to be good? No. Do you go in, if you go in knowing it's going to be shit? Yes. Did I go in knowing it was going to be shit and then kind of enjoyed it because it was shit? Yes. It's shit. It's one of the shittest movies. It's so bad. It's almost... I mean, there is one point where I nearly switched off because they had fucking pronouns mentioned in it. I was just like... Ugh. But then it got shit again in a funny kind of way. It's shit in a funny way. It is an absolute fucking car crash of a movie.
All right. The thing is does J-Lo get her tits out in it?
No.
Oh, that's not worth watching. All right, next. Nigel's just laughing at something. I don't know what he's laughing at. Maybe it's a comment there.
Appropriate timing. I think he's laughing at the fact that you happened to play his narrator's voice at the time.
So yes, Dave and Clive, best film I've seen in ages. I have to ask for more details on Dave and Clive. Okay.
Don't know what that is.
Biff and Baps. Doesn't that sound like a crap cop TV show?
Biffer and Baps.
So,
Beer and a Biff. Actually, Beer and a Biff.
Beer and a Biff would work.
Beer and a Biff. Biff and a Biff.
It sounds like a clip show where they show people drinking and then they punch up in a car park after. A Beer and a Biff. Michael Fish with a cape. I'd watch that.
I think that was a
Twisters.
comment to the weather. Yeah. The weather.
Switched to a Monday because I was busy on the Sunday. Sorry. We'll be back on Sunday as normal. So, yeah. Oh, right. What if the new Beetlejuice trailer is in the notes? We can watch that in a moment if you want. I forgot. I haven't seen it, so it would be...
I saw the first one. Is there a second one now?
Well, I got the Twister trailer up, so we can have a look. I can have a look at the Twister trailer because I haven't seen that, and then we can look at the Beetlejuice trailer. So might as well. Hugh Jackman. Oh, Hugh Jackman. Just there's a guy I work with called something, and his name sounds like Ackman. I was going to watch this Marvel effort though. I really hope it's not for modern audiences. I'm hoping you're talking about what do you call it? Deadpool. I don't think it will be. Vista says she loves Twister. I love they had a great kind of Twister experience which they got rid of at Disneyland, where you could see a tornado form up, and you start off and Bill Paxton's like narrating it. It was really cool. We have much choice, slim pickings at the cinema, unless your cinema's doing like showing RoboCop and other older films. If that's the case, go watch them. There you go. My wife did a walk for Florida, but it closed. There you go. I want to see the bikers. I have no idea. There you go. And Babster's with you. Just make Robert Downey Jr. an offer he can't refuse and bring back Iron Man.
I think you should, but I think you should do it with the X-Men in mind. Them taking on the X-Men, and then you got them taking on the X-Men in one movie, and then having to join forces at the end to take on like Kang or something like that. But you could, right? We're at a pivotal point now, right? You could reset this. You could reset this, and for all we know, the Vision TV show is exactly what you could reset it. You could forget about what's happened since Endgame, and then you could start slowly building. Bring in the X-Men quietly, right?
They're not doing it, Keith. We know this, Keith. Don't get your hopes. I refuse to let you get your hopes up. It's not happening. We both know it's not happening. It's never happening. It's just going to be the same old shit that we've been dealing with.
They employed Terry Matalis, so it might be some shining light.
Might be some shining light.
So I don't know, but you could do this. You could do that. Look. They are at the point now. If they make one more shit Marvel movie, they're in trouble, like big trouble. So I think that. We'll see.
I'm so tempted. Even just fucking Ian McKellen being old. I'd do that.
Well, they did have Patrick Stewart as Professor X briefly, even though it was shit.
Yeah. Fix Star Wars, do a Darth Vader movie. Sorry, Keith.
You could. I don't think it'll fix Star Wars.
No.
I think Star Wars is beyond fixing, personally.
Well,
I think
on
the
the bright side-
Acolyte, which is out next week. I think the Acolyte's going to be the final nail in the coffin, and we'll get Andor season 2. But some people like that, some people don't. But it won't save Star Wars.
It looks scary and freaky as the first Beetlejuice film. I hated that, says the missus. Okay. I saw Boy Kills World. I think my brother Alex was going on about that, or Duncan. I can't remember. But one of my brothers was going on about that. I'll have to do that. Here we go, Keith.
Miss Tradition. Hello, Dave!
Okay, you done now? Are you done? Thank you.
Yep.
Still work. I need to talk to you about that. I'll send you a text message. I've got lots of notes. I've probably got a whole treatment. You probably have to rewrite the whole thing up. But anyway, maybe they should bring out new movies. The problem is they bring out new movies and they're shit because they can't make it. They're too constrained now. The movies that you get are good. The ones that you hear that they've got no constraints on whatsoever. The more constraints are, the worse it gets. It's just terrible. Ha 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 ha. This is an up-and-coming author in Basingstoke. Amazingstoke, as you call it. I hope so too.
Basingstoke. It's not quite Milton Keynes.
No, it's not quite Milton Keynes. So that's the comments. Shall we have a look at the Twister movie?
Yeah.
Trailer, sorry, not the movie. Let's watch Twister the movie. We're not going to get hit with a copyright strike for that, I swear. Just restreaming the entire movie. Okay, here we go. Tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. I should have mentioned it. It's quite a long trailer.
Fuck, it's
Yeah, watch the first minute of it. It'll give you the idea.
It's wind. It's like reminds me of The Happening.
It definitely has.
I can see the headlines now. Rodeo Rampage. Sorry.
Once-in-a-generation tornado outbreak continues across Oklahoma.
We've never seen tornadoes like this before.
All right, before we go any further, I know what it's going to be. We're going to get a big, long lecture on global warming and climate change, aren't we? No, we are in the film. It's going to be there. They haven't put in the advert because I don't want anyone scared off.
I'm not convinced of that.
No, I don't chase anymore.
Kate, we can save lives.
I'll give you 1 week.
All right, fellas. We got PhDs from NASA, FEMA, and Kate. She's the smartest person I know.
Hey, dudes. This is interesting. Who are they?
It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler.
If you feel it,
Scared of nothing and I'm scared to death.
You know, our crew is not like your crew.
I can't breathe and I catch my breath.
We don't need PhDs and fancy tech. Sometimes you'll...
A tornado cowboy. We've got a tornado cowboy.
It's got the feels.
Okay.
Old ways are better than the new.
Well, you can always trust a guy who puts his face on a t-shirt.
He's a fucking YouTuber, isn't he?
Probably.
He's a...
Are those fireworks?
Yes, ma'am. You got quite the reputation, city girl. You think you can disrupt a tornado.
In theory.
But in the field, in the moment, I got it wrong.
Do you remember when Donald Trump said about dropping a nuke into a hurricane?
Yes.
I'm just saying, just keep it in mind.
Chance.
You want one?
Are you seeing this?
We got twins! Twins!
They're combining.
Twins, Basil. Twins.
Go faster.
Let's ride.
can I just point something out?
Hmm.
Something really obvious, yeah? If that wind is strong enough to move a tram car, it's, what do you call it? It's going to be strong enough to move him. Because he doesn't weigh as much as a tram car.
It's not a remake. It is a sequel. I believe Helen Hunt is going to be in it.
Okay. Right at the end, she'll save them. Clearly, you don't know nothing about fucking tornadoes.
I don't know. I enjoyed the first one. I'm going to go and see this because the trailer didn't have anything egregious in it. And it, it looks like it looks like a fast food film. It looks like a summer popcorn movie. I'm up for that. I'll go and see it. If it turns to be shit, then but this time round we got fire tornadoes.
I've been playing Helldivers. You get fire tornadoes in them. Okay.
I'm kind of, I don't know. I'll go and see it. It didn't do anything egregious, so I thought I'd go and see that because it looked okay. So yeah. Were we going to watch another trailer?
Yeah, we're going to watch Beetlejuice.
See, is there a new one? Because I've seen the first one.
There was one 3 days ago.
Okay.
So
there is a
if
new
you've
one.
not seen it 3 days ago, yeah, it's a bit weird because you've got Winona Ryder and I keep just seeing her as Will's mum from bloody Stranger Things.
It's got Jenna Coleman in it, isn't it? It's got Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
Here's a preview.
Or
Be
Tiger.
warned, it's intense.
Oh, this is the same one. Daylight comes.
Can't believe Grandpa's dead.
Death is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I think life is harder.
When I was a teenager, a trickster demon terrorized our entire family and tried to force me to marry him. I believed he was gone forever until you found this in the attic.
Ew. Who's Beetlejuice?
Don't ever say that name.
Beetlejuice.
No, Astrid! I am serious! If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
Beetlejuice.
The juice is loose.
I'm gonna make you so happy.
The living. The dead. Can they coexist? That's what we're here to find out.
Where's Beetlejuice?
Where's Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice!
Feel free to express yourselves. Don't be afraid.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
I'm going to have to go back and watch the original because I don't remember it.
I remember Mr. Shooty McShoot someone in the face starred in it.
Oh, fair enough. But I'm not going to see
Eric Bowen.
Eric Bowen. The worst weapon mass destruction ever.
Eric, we've got Eric Bowen. That's the way they say it because it's not Baldwin, it's Bowen. I'll give it a watch. That was interesting. It's funny because if I was to cast someone playing the Winona Ryder part in a remake of Beetlejuice, it would have been General Tager.
Yeah.
I would have just gone like that.
Yeah.
So I think they saw her in Wednesday and went, that's it, we're having her.
Yeah, I do. I'm kind of looking forward to Wednesday coming back as well. It's been too long. But I can't remember the first one. I remember a cartoon, but I can't remember the first one, except it being freaky. Tanith jogged my memory and being a bit freaked out about it. But that was when I was young, so I might have to go and watch it as an adult.
Yeah, it was. I remember watching it. I was fine with it. It was during that kind of Batman, when you had Tim Burton's Batman, that Tim Burton Batman era. And it's weird because the woman, Monica Bellucci's character, looks like, I don't know, from Nightmare Before Christmas, like a character from Nightmare Before Christmas. I can't remember her name. She looks like it's her, but a real life version of her. It would be interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. New film-ish, at least.
Yeah.
New film, but familiar. Hollywood is, yeah.
I mean, Michael Keaton has been having a bit of a sort of resurgence, and he's been good in a few films that I've watched him in. He was really good in that TV thing on Disney Plus, Dope Stick. I mean, he was very good in that, actually. And he was quite good in the MCU Spider-Man movie. I kind of like Michael Keaton. I have to admit, and
I like Michael Keaton before.
He was the only good thing in the Flash movie. So
yeah,
and it was kind of cool seeing him back as Batman. It was cool seeing him back as Batman, and a slightly off the wall Bruce Wayne. Even if the movie was shit, it was good seeing him. So I don't know. I have to go and watch the original Beetlejuice to see if I'm excited about it. But Michael Keaton being slightly mad on TV, on a screen, I might go and see that. And General Ortega again, it looks interesting. It does look interesting.
As I said, if we were doing a Beetlejuice now, I would probably hire General Ortega to be in it. So I'm like, I made a choice that I would have made. So kind of a bit of confirmation bias, nothing wrong with that. Right. I've been watching some TV. I've been watching, I re-upped my Apple subscription recently, and apart from watching Ted Lasso again, because it's just lovely TV to watch. Because it's lovely TV to watch. I've been watching Apple TV's Dark Matter, not to be confused with the sci-fi original Dark Matter, done by the guys who did Stargate Atlantis. And we're massive fans of Red Dwarf, and there's lots of references to Red Dwarf in both Atlantis and in Dark Matter, if you pay attention. So it's based on Blake Crouch's novel, and he's the kind of exec director sort of person in there. And very, very slow to start with. I would have compressed the first episode. Takes so long. I would have compressed it down into 10 minutes, maybe 15 at a push, because it felt it didn't build atmosphere, and it barely built the world, and the world doesn't get. And my problem is in certain places the world doesn't get built, and it's quite obvious what was going to happen. So it starts off, and you've got this physics professor, and he's talking about quantum superstates and Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, so Schrodinger's cat, is it alive or dead? No, it's in a quantum superstate because it's either alive or it's dead. Yeah. Problem is with Schrodinger's approach to that, he misses out time, because if you throw time into that equation, it becomes completely different, because you can determine whether the cat is alive or dead as soon as you add time. And I think if you wanted to put something in a quantum superstate, you'd have to figure out how to negate time from the whole thing. By the by, that's me talking about quantum physics. I got drunk on a bench once at Staines train station, spent an hour talking to a physics student from Imperial College London. It was a really good conversation, considering I didn't go to university and I didn't do physics. But he talks about these quantum superstates, and his friend recently won the equivalent of the Nobel Peace Prize. He's got lots of money. He can start a new business up in San Francisco. He's inviting him out from where he lives in Chicago. He's like, I don't really want to move from Chicago. But his wife's like, who's Jennifer Connelly, he says, that go. You know, our son's doing well at school, this, that, and the other. Go and see what he says. He's gone all this way. He's throwing a party in a bar that's a short walk from your house because he wants to talk to you about it. He's gone through the whole thing of that. Anyway, goes to the bar, has a few drinks with him, yeah. And then he says, I'll think about the job. And on the way home, he gets mugged by someone who drags him into a warehouse, drugs him up with something, and he wakes up and he's in a different universe. Now, it's bloody obvious that the person who's kidnapped him and put him in another universe is him, yeah? And I knew it from the moment it happened, yeah? And it's no bloody mystery. So as soon as I saw that and I picked what was happening, it was like, right, he's been put in another universe, and what he's going to do, he's going to do a sliders and try to get back to his original universe to take care of the doppelganger, as I'm going to call him, and get his life back. Yeah, that's what the story is. Yeah, and what he has to do to go through there, and all the things all the rigmarole he has to do to escape. So I got that at the end of the first episode. And then the second episode is then a whole episode of him exploring this parallel universe where he figures out that paths are diverted at different things at different points. So the wife that he was with, she was pregnant with twins at the time, and he was like, kind of, no, we can't do it. Blah blah blah. I need to focus on my career. And the one from his universe was like, no, I'd rather spend the rest of my life with you, and we'll go through our ups and downs, this, that, and the other. Anyway, turns out he didn't marry her. He worked on this project of figuring out this quantum superstates and stuff like that. And he developed this drug because the part of it is all down to the observational state, which is the bit where it's like, I think it's down to time. Observational state. So you take this drug and it knocks you out and it puts you in in your brain to such a condition you can't observe anything. And then you're inside a box where the universe can't observe you, which then puts you into a quantum superstate, which then allows you then to travel between dimensions. All right. And it appears as a giant corridor with lots of doors there, which I thought was quite cool. And the kind of him and this woman that the other version of him who he's involved with, I can't remember the actress's name. What was her name? Alice Braga. She was in Predators and some other things. She's with him, and they're trying to go through these doors and figure out how to get to these other things. Anyway, he figures out what it is the corridor isn't an actual physical corridor. It's your brain creating and visualizing how to jump between the quantum states. So your brain, the chemical, is allowing you to create this physical kind of construct in your head so you understand what's going on there. And what you got to do is you got to do a Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. Yeah, and then go through the correct door. And he's just figured that out recently. But it takes so fucking long to get going. It takes 2 episodes to what I would have crammed down into the first part and the second part of the first episode. And then I would have had a bit more adventure-y sort of things. But is it interesting? Yeah. Is it worth a watch? If you can get past the first 2 episodes, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, but you see, they had something
but it's
about
that first 2 episodes.
Alternate universes just before that. They had something with Naomi Reese or whatever, a space station Europe series thing. That was
that's ironic because guess what I started watching after that?
Well, that's obvious. That's obvious.
That.
Alternate universe. So we're going to mess around with doing some quantum experiment, and then all hell plays loose, and then she keeps hearing voices and things. It's obvious that I watched the first episode. How are you finding that? Can you? Because that was slow as well.
Dark Matter's better. Dark Matter's a lot better. Because Dark Matter points towards some kind of destination and something going on, where that doesn't seem like it's got a destination and doesn't seem like it's got anything going on. There's clearly going to come between a conflict between him and the other guy. He may grab the family and jump to another fucking universe with the family. We don't know what's going on there. We don't know what he's capable of. Will he murder people? This, that, and the other. Is he going to ruin his life in that universe so he can't go back? Things like that. There's lots of possibilities in there and lots of things pointing towards that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot more. But with the Naomi Rapace's, I can't remember, it's Constellation, I think it's called.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, and it doesn't feel like it's and there's no mystery behind it. And I was talking to the missus about this, and it's like these TV series are missing hooks. Remember, you watch an episode of like Star Trek or Stargate Atlantis or even Doctor Who, and you start the episode off, and something would happen, some inciting incident, which would then draw you in that hook, yeah, in like the tease, yeah, and it's like kind of, oh my God, we've been transported back to 1960 via the Stargate, or oh my God, the Borg have turned up, and I've gone out of focus, yeah, something like that would happen, and that would then engage you, and then you'd watch the episode, try and figure out what's going on, yeah. Dark Matter's not got it. Constellation's not got it. They don't, because they don't have to play to the normal TV rules. They're forgetting the good things that TV had, where you'd have these things which would draw you in. Yeah. So, for example, you always talk about Game of Thrones. Everything happens in the last like 10, 15 minutes. The reason that happens is to make sure you watch the next episode. They put the hook at the end rather than at the beginning.
Yeah.
To make sure you'd watch the next episode. This doesn't seem to do that. The Expanse books do that really well.
Yes.
So if you go through the Expanse books, I think the first 4 chapters you'll go through, there's no hook because it's like set up. Yeah, so you get it set up to like the 3 main characters or the 2 main characters you're following through. And then after that is hook on the chapter. But you then get transported into another chapter, which then leaves you in another hook, which then gets you to the rest of the chapter that you wanted the hook from the previous 2 chapters. And then it keeps doing that. And then before you know it, you've gone through the entire fucking book and go, wow, that was really good. And so it's it's if you can get past the first 2 episodes, it is going somewhere. I don't recommend Constellation though. It's not. Again, they're both missing the hooks to pull you in storyline wise.
I couldn't get into
and
it.
I miss that. Yeah, you couldn't get into it. What
Dark
Dark Matter?
But I haven't watched Dark Matter yet. I couldn't get into Constellation. I've forgotten about Dark Matter being on, but the trailer to it wasn't.
Didn't have a hook.
No, it didn't. And yeah, the trailer didn't particularly work very well on that. But look, I'm running out of things to watch, so I will try and watch that.
Yeah. Did you finish X-Men 97?
Not yet. I'm going to finish it. I just haven't had a chance yet. But
you got to Gambit's death though? Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah. And it's permanent.
I know. But I was enjoying that, so I'm kind of saving for that when I need something enjoyable to watch. But I've I will watch that.
Okay.
Are we going to have a Doctor Who chat before we go into?
Go on, let's have a Doctor Who chat because so apparently the Doctor Who ratings had a spike. So it was at 2.04 million and now it's at 2.64 million for this 76 or 73 yards, whatever it was called.
We get have they finally announced the iPlayer results for Boom?
I don't know, hang on.
Because it was the lowest rated episode in terms of live ratings. And people are going, oh yeah, but it's in streaming and blah, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, no. It shows you how keen people are on it. So, for example, during Peter Capaldi's era, people weren't too keen on it, but they'd watch it. So the what do you call it, the streaming figures, he'd always gain at least 2 million. So he was always in like decent kind of. They'd be killing for his fucking figures now. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it.
But it's not original. It is Russell T. I've said this, and nothing has changed. This episode was, in effect, it was another bottle episode in terms of the Doctor's not in it. It's all bloody what's her face, Ruby, and the way they make Ruby look older is put a pair of glasses on her and slightly change her hairstyle. And she looked exactly the same fucking age. I've seen pictures of it. She just looks exactly the same fucking age. And it's, a what if story. It's slightly different than Turn Left in the fact that you have this character that's always 73 yards away from her.
It's slightly different from Turn Left in the fact that it's not very good.
What was that? There's no they still haven't announced that. That tells me, shit. So with iPlayer results, 3.91 million is the lowest rated episode of. Oh, Jesus.
Now, do you know why they reckon this is 6.2 million?
Why?
Because people left the TVs on after the FA Cup.
Wouldn't surprise me.
We'll find out next on episode 5, yeah? If episode 5 is under 2 million, then we know it was because they left it on after the FA Cup.
The trailer's really unappealing. I mean, really unappealing.
What's the next episode?
Bubbles
Doctor
or
Who,
something.
Doctor Who.
And the
Bubbles.
Doctor dressed up in bright pink, bright colours and everything. It looks awful. But it just, again, it feels like Russell T Davies it was a what if episode, and it had no ending.
Do you know what
there's
it
no
felt
explanation as to why the Doctor disappeared.
Do you want to know what he ripped off?
He ripped himself off.
He ripped himself off. He ripped off years and years, didn't he? Albion Party.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even watch Years and Years, and I knew that.
And that character could be the damn Master. And it wouldn't surprise me if it is. It wouldn't surprise me if the Master is coming back and it's all bullshit. But
do you know what the worst thing is? I liked Sasha Dowie, or his name is, the coked up Master.
Yeah, he was quite good as
That's the only thing I actually liked about Chris Chibnall's run is the coke. I call him the coked up Master because he looked like he'd just done a couple of lines of coke and then started talking.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to be controversial. My favourite rendition of the Master in the modern universe. I like John Simmers the Master, but actually, what's her face, Missy? She just She just steals it every time. She steals it. There was really good casting. There was where you could make a sex change work because you had an actress that was capable of playing a really fucking interesting, nuanced bad guy, or protagonist, I should say. I watched those Missy episodes again. She is fucking amazing, actually. She's
Michelle Gomez is.
She's really, really good. So, and again, I've seen all these people going, I can't help thinking, had it been any other Doctor in Boom, that might have actually been a good episode. And it's exactly what I said to you last week. Had that been... Actually, I think Capaldi would have been good in it. I think the most interesting would have been Matt Smith. Because that would have done
it feels like it was written more for Capaldi than Smith.
But I think that could have been interesting with Matt Smith's Doctor. And I mean, even Tennant's Doctor. Even Christopher Eccleston's Doctor would have been more interesting than... The trouble is, I liked Ncuti Gatwa until he fucking got into this and then opened up his mouth. And, again, all these people going, oh, it's not for you, or people turn up for the diversity. No one fucking watches a TV show for its diversity, right? People don't watch Bridgerton because of its fucking diversity. They watch it for tits, right? That's why they fucking watch it. Tits in Edwardian time. It's interesting, right? That's why they watch Bridgerton. Steamy love shows, right? That's what Bridgerton is, right? My wife fucking loves it, and she says it. I know why she fucking watches Bridgerton.
She looks at you and goes, "It's the tits, darling." That's why I like this show.
It's the sexy people in it, and a person actually turns around and goes, for every person that doesn't watch this show, 5 people are going to turn up for its diversity. Who the fuck watches this? What world do these people live on that they think somebody's going to tune in for the diversity? No, what you've got to do is write good stories with talented people and talented actresses then it naturally has diversity. You know, Missy was created as a female version of the Master, but because you had the talent that is Michelle Gomez, it made for an amazing character, right? That genuinely is probably my favorite version of the Master in modern times, because she eats up the screen. She's so damn good. And when she was up against Capaldi, it worked, right? And that's the difference, because talent, you can have, I keep saying, you can have this diversity, you can have all of this, you just have to have the talent behind it to write good thing, and you have to do it for a reason. You know, you tell good stories, everything else comes out. In actual fact, if you look at the first 5 years of Russell T Davis's Doctor Who, it was reasonably fucking progressive. It was reasonably diverse.
Oh, no. There were some places where it was really fucking annoying, yeah.
I know.
But hang on a second. It was really annoying and really gay. And then when Moffat took over, it went straight. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. Okay. Do you remember the little red cactus person in The Voyage of the Damned?
Yes.
That was a fucking allegory for being gay, along with what's his mission. And it was just so. It was one of those ones when you notice it, and you say, "Oh."
Yes, but it wasn't in your face all the time. And again, there was talent there. He wasn't doing it to be an activist. He was telling good stories. He wrote Midnight.
He wrote Midnight because he kept on getting annoyed because everyone turned around and said that Blink was the best episode of New Who, and he didn't write that.
It still is the best episode. He won't ever touch Moffat in terms of...
yeah.
But he told some good stories. He brought back Doctor Who, and he did it well. The trouble is, he is also really not a nice person. And I have to say, Christopher Eccleston is a little intense. He's like that in real life, right? He is pretty much, he is a bit, not weird,
in your face.
But he is a bit in your face. He was, I remember him being quite intense, but I also believe him when he said what he said and what Russell T Davies did and wrote into that stories, just to destroy him. I absolutely believe that's what Russell T Davies did, because he's more than capable of it, because he's doing it now. And he's doing it to all the fans. He's intentionally screwing the show because he doesn't like the people that watch it. And that's why you're getting these comments. It's not for you. Go and touch grass. All these male gammons out there. I mean, I had a comment that went viral on Facebook this week because they announced, they said Doctor Who, it was on the Radio Times as well. Radio Times announced the last 2 episodes of the current series of Doctor Who are going to be shown in the cinema, and I went, "What? So nobody can go watch it there too?" I think I'd rather go and stand outside the cinema, touch some grass, and munch on a gammon sandwich. And loads of people found that very funny. One person tried to come back and say, "Well, I was looking for tickets and my cinemas sold out." First thing is, not on sale yet. Anyway, you can't book these tickets.
That's why you couldn't find them.
2, this person turned out, looked to be pretty much a bot. And so be careful believing these comments and anything, because I always think they are. This was a bot, basically. Because it's bullshit. They won't sell out. I don't for 1 second believe that loads of people are going to take their because it's not appropriate.
Can you just riddle me this? Why the fuck, pardon my language, are you putting the last 2 episodes of the first the 60th in cinema? Yeah?
It's the 60th, wasn't the 60th. It wasn't celebrating Doctor Who. There was nothing in those 3 episodes that said, "I'm Doctor Who, it's been Doctor Who for 60 years." It was Russell T Davies getting his fancy man David Tennant back, because, he's clearly got a crush on him. And it was all about me. Look at me. I'm super. Thanks for asking. It was. It's big gay Russell, and it's all me. And that's what this. I mean, it is a fucking ego massage. You know, I'm an activist now. Me. Aren't I brilliant? I'm an activist. I'm saving disabled people. I'm saving the trans people. I'm saving black people. I'm so amazing. Look at me. Me. I'm gay.
I'm still pissed
super.
off.
Thanks for asking.
I'm still pissed off about the fucking Davros thing.
Not
I
as
would
pissed
have
off as
if I
me,
was him.
because I find it personally insulting.
Why have you created a race of super beings that are going to try and exterminate the universe?
Because I do have official registered disability, and that does not fucking define me. And I said this at the time, and it still makes my blood boil, right? Many people out there do not allow their disabilities to define them. You look at all these fucking Paralympics, these amazing people, right? That do not let their disabilities define them. And Russell T Davies overnight told everybody the disability defines him. Sorry, you're in a wheelchair. You can't be a bad person. And I'm sorry, where's the fucking history of disabled people always being made into villains? Where? Because he said Blofeld. The original Blofeld walked.
Yeah, he got fucked up by James Bond.
Yes, that's why he's in a wheelchair. You were the one that brought back Davros, right? Russell T Davies brought him back. He was in a wheelchair back then. And still fucking super scary. I'll never forget when he came up behind me at the bloody proms. Scared the living shit out of me. Because we were standing in the promenade area. They have that fucking platform in the middle of the Albert Hall. You don't know, right? There's a platform in the middle of the crowd, right? In the Albert Hall, and I'm standing right behind it, leaning my back up against it, right? And my mate goes like that, turn around, I am fucking face to face with Davros, right? And it was what's his face in the suit as well, and I just went because he fucking looked evil. But I'm sick of. It really annoyed me because that interview he gave. Russell T Davies talking for all disabled people out there like he's some fucking virtuous champion for all disabled people. Oh, all disabled people have been painted as bad guys. We're not going to do that anymore. Fuck off. You are defining people by their thing. You are defining the wheelchair. You are saying that the wheelchair is somehow bad. He was defining people by their disabilities. Right? I've only got a mild one, right? But I know so many people, and I've met people who are disabled, who are not defined by it. And that, you know, this guy's got his head so far up. God, it makes my fucking blood boil that when he said that. And it still does. It still pisses me off. Because who the fuck is he to speak? Right? Stay in your fucking lane. You can talk about homosexual rights. You can talk about that. The time when you were living,
that's a good point. You're not disabled, Russell. You're not allowed to talk about it. They're the rules that you made.
Yeah, stay in your fucking lane, right? I understand that when he was growing up, right, the way homosexuality was treated back then, I understand it. He's got a fucking point, right? Stay in your lane because you clearly can't. It's your rules as well. You fuck off. And this. They've ruined one of my favorite shows of all time. And turning around and telling people that you were happy to mate for 10 years ago that it's not for you to go out and touch fucking grass. Here's the thing. If I was in the UK now, I would be organising a protest campaign. Seriously, I'd be very loud. I think people should literally, on the day that it is in the cinema, you should go to your local cinema where it's, and take a picture of yourself touching fucking grass next to the cinema where it's saying Doctor Who, where nobody's going in there watching it. You should do it. Send it to them. Because the BBC has a mandate to make TV programs for everyone. It is literally in their fucking charter. And yet they've got the stars of this show saying this show's not for you. That directly contravenes the BBC charter. Directly. and I don't care that half of it's been bankrolled by bloody Disney, right? The BBC has a charter, and you've got the stars saying this show's not for you.
Well, for me, it was
who are the
the
biggest
racist
taxpayers
comment.
in the UK? Who are
Rich people.
the largest? No, but who is the largest demographic of taxpayers in the UK?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Right. I'm just. It's. Part of me is like, kind of, don't you want to be successful? Yeah? Can you not see that you tried this before and you failed? Why would you do it? To quote, it's not Albert Einstein, I found out. Insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different result.
Because you have this prat that's in charge of BBC drama that says, who's turned around and said, what wokeness is great, wokeness is wonderful, blah blah blah, right? You've got, again, the BBC has been infected by the far left. We know it. We know it's there. It's only when they get caught out that they're removed. But what annoys me, and I'm not trying to say, we keep getting told, this show is not for straight white men. We keep getting told that, right? And yeah, I'm a straight white guy, right? But I'm also on the fucking left. But I'm not these versions of the people. I don't care what you are. You can be trans. I respect that. You can be gay. I respect that, right? I don't think you should be judged just on that. I don't think you should be persecuted on that. I believe in diversity and progress, things like that. I do. Just not this version, not this fake fucking bullshit version where you've got some silly fat twat standing up on the thing going, disabled people, have always been, are always evil, so now we're making them good. What? Disabled people can't be bad anymore? And if he understood the fucking character, Davros was in a wheelchair because he used parts of himself to make the Daleks. The guy was insane. He wasn't disabled. He did it to himself.
Well, no, he did lose most of his mobility. That's the new Who. But previously, in Tom Baker era, it was because he had a building fall on him.
I thought he used parts of himself to make the Daleks.
Oh, no,
well.
in New Who he did. Was it Stolen Earth? Yeah, but
Old
previously he didn't.
Well. In Genesis of the Daleks. I'm getting this from
Genesis Dalek building. No, building. You can watch if you've got access to BBC iPlayer.
I've got it on DVD. I've got it on DVD.
Oh yeah, but the problem is the DVD. Yeah, you're going to have to get the DVD out. My favourite Dalek episode's Remembrance of the Daleks. We had the fucking special weapons Dalek. Do you remember that? You had the white Daleks, which were superior because before they were just like a brain blob thing, but these things had fucking claws. If you leant in, it would fucking take your head clean off. I miss those days.
Yeah, I'm ranting about Doctor Who, and I apologise, but he made my blood boil then. But I've just got to put
not me. Russell T Davies made his blood boil.
My disability tunes out new Doctor Who episodes. It makes me dizzy.
I always make the joke that I'm allergic to stupidity. It brings me out in anger. Yeah. So, should we talk about Star Wars Episode 2?
Yes.
Right, first things first, I'm going to start off with... It hasn't aged well, but I still appreciate it more now than I did. I appreciate it more, but I think it's the worst of the George Lucas Star Wars films.
I don't know. I've got to watch the third one. I'm gonna start. I'm not gonna say that yet. I think you're probably right, but I'm not gonna say that yet. I still love the bit. I know it's not the best fight. But I love Yoda's little fight scene with. I love it because I was a Yoda fan, and still watching that going, I still go, cool, and I love the way he then hobbles off again. I still love that. I still love that moment, and it's a brilliant scene because he could have killed Dooku, right? You knew he could have fucked up Dooku, but what makes him different is he saves Anakin and Obi-Wan. That's what he does. He lets Dooku go because he saves the people. And again, that's it's actions and I love that scene. It's dated. There is some terrible CGI in it in places.
Ooh. Yeah.
There is some things that I like the sort of the opening scenes in Coruscant. Although, by God, Coruscant is heavily fucking influenced by Blade Runner, isn't it?
Blade Runner, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so that looked plastic as fuck. That really did. Yeah. And I bet you didn't notice, but now I've pointed it out to you, if you go back, you'll notice, yeah? John Williams' score in the Coruscant section, practically non-existent. There's a score in there, doesn't sound very John Williams. It could be anyone. It's really fucking dull.
Yep.
It is. It's annoying because I think, hang on a second, I think the Phantom Menace, CGI-wise, looks better.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does. And it's funny because I remember watching John Carter, right? The famous Disney film that flopped. Isn't that funny? That is no longer Disney's worst flop. And remembering going, John Carter looks a lot like Episode 2. Here's the thing. John Carter is still actually quite a good movie.
John Carter is also over 100 years old storyline wise.
Yes, I know, but the movie's still quite good. But it does look like Episode 2, except the effects are better. They hold up better, and they do. And it's still got what's her face. Anyway, John Carter is a good movie. John Carter is a good movie. And if you haven't gone back and watched that, you should. Trust me. Anyway,
who's the bird you're talking about?
I don't know her name, but she was hot.
Okay.
I appreciate the story more in this. I know more about the Genosians now because of Clone Wars and watching Clone Wars. And Clone Wars really does build upon that. And so you look at the Genosians with a different light. And having watched all of that Clone Wars stuff, it does make it different watching this again, because this is where it all starts, and it does make it different.
Right, so I watched some of that stuff from Clone Wars with the Genosians, because I go back there and the world's pretty much been fucking hollowed out, yeah? And there's a few survivors lingering around, yeah? The Jedi come across as a bit like bastards.
Yeah, and it was really bad effects when all the Jedi turn up, right? Really badly cast. Like, the extras that you use just don't look Jedi. I don't know what it is.
They don't look Jedi. They should
like
put stunt people.
They've looked like, there wasn't even that. They look like randoms that they've gone on to Bondi Beach and gone, come earn $50 fucking for a day. Here's a cloak, here's a lightsaber, throw it around like that for a few minutes. That's what it looked like. Right, and the CGI is so bad. It looks like, when we first had it, where they used to put random people, you'd have the odd real person walking across a green screen, right? And then you'd have a gazillion fucking CGI characters. It's so obvious now here that it is. But the extras that they use to play the Jedi, they're awful. They are awful. They're badly coordinated. And none of them...
My argument is that... Alright, so... We're talking about CGI characters. I have no idea why they did not just have people dressed up as bloody clone troopers. You could have had them all dressed up as clone troopers. You could have got Tamura Morrison to play whatever character's talking at the time. So you could have had him doing the talking. Get people roughly the same shape and build as him. Put them in the uniform. Because it's the way it's constructed, you can make them look roughly the same. And do it like that. Didn't. I'm staggered that they didn't do that, because you can see, and the eye lines are so fucking bad. Yeah. And they were bad in they're looking, and it's like kind of, yes, and like kind of, he's like that, and then and it's crap. It takes you out of it. It would make more sense the funny thing is, it would make more sense because when you have a shot, you tend to find that you'll get one person talking to another person. So I'm like talking to you here, and then it would cut to your response to me. You don't put the two on top of each other. You never put the two on top of each. I've not seen it where you put the two on top of each other that much in comparison to the flip between the two.
The arena scenes are terrible, except for the fact that there's several character Jedi that are included there that then get built out stories in the Clone Wars, and that was kind of cool to see them and knowing them who they are now. That was cool, but most of the Jedi in the arena are terrible. But look, I love Samuel L. Jackson as a fucking Jedi. I do. The trouble is, in that scene, you know, when he does that speech to Dooku, he needs to finish it with a motherfucker. Because it's Samuel L. Jackson. It's like, hey, you finish it off when he's going, motherfucker. Like that, it would have worked so much better. You know, and the bit where he turns up in the arena and he just puts his fucking lightsaber across the like thing. What, motherfucker, would have worked so much better. That's trouble is Samuel L. Jackson's a gangster, and that's the problem. But the fucking bit where he does cut off Django's head, that's still kind of cool. The way he fucking, you know, charges at him and just fucks him up. Yeah.
Do you know what? I really like the fight between Jango Fett and Obi-Wan. I think that's the best fight in the entire thing.
Yes.
It's in the rain. You can clearly see that Jango Fett's tactic is to keep Obi-Wan Kenobi away from his lightsaber. If I keep him away from his lightsaber, I can take him, yeah? And he does that all the way through. And it's funny because when he fights Samuel L. Jackson, the one thing that he couldn't do was separate him from his lightsaber. And guess what happened?
But the thing was, right, and I'm going to say this because the accents in this, that kid that plays Boba is so... I mean, he is more irritating than the kid that played young Anakin. I mean, he's just so irritating, and it's not made any better by his accent. It's just not. And I know that probably isn't going to go down too well and isn't politically correct, but the trouble is you went from having English accents throughout all of the Star Wars movies to then all of a sudden having Aussie accents everywhere. And it's jarring. I'm sorry, it's jarring. It takes, if there'd always been Aussie accents right from the offset, it wouldn't have been a problem. But it's jarring. It takes you out of it. Like all of a sudden, whereas all of Amidala's staff were English accents, they all suddenly became Australian accents. And you had suddenly half of Coruscant has got an Australian accent rather than a British accent. And that's the thing. He moved the production there. And it doesn't work as well. You know, what's his face? Okay, what's his face as the clone trooper in Django hit it quite well. Right? And I love him. And he worked, but it's a stark contrast between the first movie and the second movie, and it does take you out of it. And I know, look, God bless them for using local crews, and they were very good at that. And I'm not, please don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing the Australian accent. I'm dissing the fact that it's jarring between the first and second movie. Well, that kid's Australian accent was really annoying. The young Boba was just, yeah. Oh God, I want to smack him. Every time I watch it, it irritates me. It's not, it progressively worse. The thing is, right, you say this is the second one. I know next week when we watch the third one, there's going to be something that irritates me, and it's always irritated me, and it's going to irritate me again, but I will leave it till next week to say what it is. But it doesn't hold up effects wise, and you're right, it's worse than the first one. The pod racing scenes still hold up quite well. This doesn't.
Pod racing holds up. The space Venice, as I like to call it, which is Naboo, holds up.
You know, Lego make these like dioramas now, movies. Like I've got the Luke Skywalker versus the Vader with the Emperor sitting behind him on the Death Star and Jedi. I've got that one. I've got Jurassic Park with the T-Rex. So they've just released one with the pod racing, and it's Anakin and Sabuba with the X pod and Anakin going. I kind of want it because it is like one of my favorite things out of that. But again, right, you get the thing I like about it. You also get a rehash of the Duel of Fates, right? When Anakin goes to save his mother, you get the rehash of Duel of Fates. You know when he's going on the speeder, you get that amazing. Now I've seen that live, and it's epic. And I love that piece of music. Really love that piece of music. It's one of John Williams' best. And I love that bit where he does, because again, the thing that I like about it is this is where Anakin does this before Clone Wars. And for the most part, the Anakin in Clone Wars is a good man, is a good Jedi, you know, and the whole Ahsoka. It's why I liked the character of Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, because the two complement each other so well. And this is when Filoni knew what he was bloody doing. And Lucas was behind, you know, and that's why Clone Wars, and don't get me wrong, there's lots of kiddie episodes, but there's really good classic episodes, a bit like Rebels. But all of that was after Anakin kills the people. So, and I'm just, it makes you think a bit, and that affected me slightly more so in this time round. But you're right, the arena really doesn't hold up, really badly doesn't. And then the Dooku fighting, I love him, Christopher Lee, rest in peace. Terrible. Terrible.
There's a bit where he's fighting him in the dark, and it's just
the light.
him going,
it's just
and then you cut to Aiden Richardson. What's his name? Aiden Christensen, and he's going like that. And it's like, how the fuck did that make it into the edit? I would have seen that and go, guys, you've got to come fucking back, and we've got to redo this. Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, I've seen Hayden Christensen, right? The only good thing about Disney Plus's Star Wars has actually been seeing Hayden Christensen come back and proving the fact that he can act, right? The only good thing about Ahsoka was the Hayden Christensen scenes, right? The only damn good thing about what's his face was the Obi-Wan was the Hayden Christensen scene with him and Thingy. Hayden Christensen can act. He was badly directed in this movie. He was badly directed.
I've seen him in stuff that he was in before, and he's clearly a good actor. And I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't. Because Ewan McGregor, even if Aiden Christensen was directed poorly, Ewan McGregor must have been directed poorly. He still put the effort in.
That's so.
And that's so okay. This might be worth. But Ian McDermott,
but say that after you watch the third film. Pay attention to the bit where he turns Anakin. Come back and tell me after that. Right, we'll talk about that next week. But come back and say, because that scene fucking seriously bugs me, right? And it's still. This is why I'm not going to go out there and say this is the worst one. I want to see when we watch the third one next week, because I haven't watched that for a long while. I want to see that again. But look, I still love the Yoda fight, because it's that. Because I remember seeing that for the first time and just going, that was epic. And I remember forgetting the rest of the film and just focusing on that moment. And still, it is one of the coolest moments in Star Wars history. It is.
No, it's not. No, not even. It's iconic. Not remotely. No, it's not.
Yoda picks up and does a lightsaber.
It's not. It isn't. It's a fake Yoda fighting a fake Christopher Lee versus the Darth Maul one from episode 1, where the two people.
No, I'm not saying it's a better lightsaber fight. I'm saying it's an iconic moment. I'm not saying it's the greatest scene in Star. I'm not saying that it's like the fucking lightsaber fight and the between Maul and the two in the first movie is way better in terms of fighting, but it is an iconic moment. It is really finally seeing how powerful Yoda is, and it tells you, it shows you, the guy is using the Force to fight. He does, all that leaping around and flying and shit that he does, right? That's all pure Force power. It shows how powerful he is. It's iconic, and it still is. The moment he whips out that little lightsaber and fucking does over That's iconic. In fact, Yoda's fight scene against the Emperor in the third one is better. But you'd already seen it. So it didn't have that surprise moment that you get in this. It's iconic. It's not the greatest scene, but it's...
Okay, all right, so if
cool.
that's iconic, if you're saying that's iconic, this scene here is also iconic. Starring Samuel L. Jackson.
Look out! In here.
I love this.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Taking a shit.
Sorry.
So if that's iconic, that's fucking iconic too.
You're gonna have there's gonna be Star Wars fans here that are gonna disagree with you.
That's fine.
Seeing
That's
Yoda fight with a
you know me,
lightsaber
Keith. Keith, that's not changing my opinion.
I know.
Only I changed my opinion.
You're wrong. Seeing Yoda pick up a lightsaber for the first time is still iconic and epic, and it still gives me that first time I saw it. I remember seeing it I remember in the cinema the first time it cuts to that scene and Yoda's coming in. You go, what's he going to do? You know, I remember not even thinking he's going to get a lightsaber out. It was going to be, what's Yoda going to do here, right? You know, and then I remember the bit where he takes off his jacket and Yoda pulls out his lightsaber. The cinema cheered, and I was just like, no fucking way. And then he fucking does all that bouncing over the screen. It was it's iconic. It's fucking Yoda, right? Fighting with a lightsaber for the first time. We've never seen anything like it before. So it does have one of the most iconic scenes in Star Wars history. It is an iconic scene. It is. It's the one thing that people remember about this film. That's the first time.
Not the sand speech.
No,
everyone seems to quote the sand speech. I've heard more people talk about Hayden Christian talking about sand than I have that Yoda fight. You know that,
what
don't
sand
you?
Gets everywhere. Yeah. I
yes,
know
that's more iconic.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, I was in a cinema. Exactly the same fucking thing happened. He's lost this one. I'm gonna have to come up with a
logo. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but no title crawl. Oh well.
I applauded it for being different.
That's you. That's
you're
you.
Not,
that is.
You're not gonna win this one. You're not.
I don't have to win this one.
I know you don't like this scene, but it is iconic. Is it the best lightsaber fight? Not even close.
Not even remotely.
In fact, when Yoda walks into, we'll talk about this again next week. But in the third one, when Yoda walks into the Emperor's thing and just fucking bashes his red guard, by the way, that in terms of coolness is better, right? It is, but that is an iconic moment, and it will always go down that, because I remember, and you heard this. Everybody said the same thing in the cinema. No fucking way, because you know. And then when you saw it, there was people.
I must have seen it in a parallel fucking universe, Keith, because everyone was like, "Oh yeah, oh it looks."
Just be fucking glad that you didn't see it with Ben, right? That's what I'm gonna say, right? Because there was that iconic moment in that film. There was also one of the most embarrassing moments of my entire fucking life, because that silly twat, right? You know, when it comes, I love him, but it's a friend of ours, right? We took lightsabers because we were huge fucking geeks to this film, and we saw it up in London, and we had lightsaber fights outside the cinema with about 50 other fans, right? And you know the bit where it comes up with a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and you know every time you see that, everybody goes really dead quiet. What does that silly twat do? Ignite his lightsaber. The entire fucking cinema looks around at me, and I'm going, "Oh my god, Ben, you bastard!" And then it goes, right. And everybody's pissed off because they missed that because some twat ignites his lightsaber.
So, knowing Ben, did he put it between his legs and ignite it so it looks like a giant erection?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I've never forgotten it. It was so fucking embarrassing. because it was just a long time. Everybody goes quiet. And you just hear this. And everybody.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I'm going red now just remembering it. But that cinema clapped. But then when you used to go and see films like that up in London, that happened. I mean, it happened with Star Trek First Contact. I remember everybody cheering that when it ended, but that was the premiere.
I always find it. I always found it really embarrassing when people applauded a film at the end.
It was an American.
I just thought
thing,
they can't hear you.
It's an American thing, I think, but I remember people.
It's
cheered,
something
I
don't want to import. There's things I like from America and things I don't, and that's just stupid.
British. There was a lot of Star Wars films fans in there when we went to see Episode 2. I remember that. And there were a lot of heavy duty Star Wars fans. So yeah, the Yoda scene did get a clapping in ours as well.
Right, now hang on a second. Hold on a second. No, hold on. Stormbreaker. When he turns up with Stormbreaker and tells us to ask where Thanos is, it was earned.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Yoda versus Sidious, much better.
No, I agree with you. Right? I'm saying it's an iconic scene. I'm not saying it's the greatest scene. It's not. But it's iconic because it's the first time we saw it. There's a difference. Right? I think the Sidious fight is way better. I love that whole fucking sequence. I love. Because he walks in and he's just like, Yoda's not taking any shit, And
I'm asking chat fucking GPT because I need something as close to objective as I can, and this is the only thing I can find. List iconic scenes in Star Wars Episode 2. It's going to be the sand. The sand one is going to be number 1. Oh, not 3, 2. Okay, here we go. See what ChatGPT says.
I think you can share it on the screen.
Hang on a second.
What's number 1, Gav? Sorry. What's number 1?
The assassination attempt at the beginning.
That's an iconic scene.
Yeah, according to ChatGPT.
Is it? Fuck.
Right, so it's listed 14 iconic scenes, and Yoda versus Dooku is in there. Hang on a second. List in order of. But asking chat fucking you.
Hang on.
What's this?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So,
yeah.
Can you explain to me? I looked away and I looked down at my phone and looked back up, and somehow it had shared a midriff exposed, and I missed that. And it's clearly torn bit of material, and I'm like, when did that happen?
Does not matter, Gareth. Does not matter.
Right. You're not going to want to hear this, but I'm not going to want to hear the result either, because, yeah. So I asked it to list the scenes using the web pilot model. I'm going to share my screen. Where's my screen? So it's not number 1.
No, I don't.
This is the first thing. Okay. So according to the web pilot ChatGPT using web scraping, yeah. First one is the arena battle, and you have to say, we talked about the arena battle.
It sticks. I can understand why it does. Yeah. I can understand because it has been copied. Yeah, it's number 2. Number
2. But it's annoying because I think the Jango Fett versus Obi-Wan Kenobi is a better fight.
Oh, it's a better.
It's so much better. There's so much more thought into it.
It's a crap fight.
What? Yeah.
I agree with you in everything you're saying, except the fact that it's iconic. It doesn't mean it's great. It's iconic because it's the first time you see that Yoda wield a lightsaber, and we're not going to argue over the fact that Yoda isn't one of the most iconic characters of all time. I mean, every fucking person still, everybody knows Yoda, right? You don't have to be a Star Wars fan, and Somebody will go, "Oh, you're doing Yoda, right?" He is one of the most and it is the first time you see him pick up a lightsaber. So therefore, it is iconic. Is it a good fight scene? No. Is the one in 3 way better? Oh hell yeah! Right? Is it the greatest scene in Episode 2? No. Is the fight between Obi-Wan and Jango Fett better? Yes. The fucking bit where he gets killed is better. In every term, it's iconic. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it there because we've gone on for long now. We'll nerd fight here. We'll have another one next week. We need to figure out what we're watching after the prequels.
I've had a couple of ideas. We'll have to discuss them off air.
Okay, all right.
I thought about going through all the original Marvel movies up to Endgame, and I thought, no, that's way too many. And I'm not sure because there's quite a few in there that I don't know if I want to go relive all Marvel. I just don't. I'm not ready yet for that, I think.
And it's too distressing to see them. It's like watching your football team doing really well, and all of a sudden they've got a new manager and have just gone to shit because they got rid of their best players.
Yeah, I mean, I've done Star Wars because I can do that. I can disconnect from Disney Star Wars versus this because there's a big time difference between the two. So I can disconnect with that. I can't disconnect with the Marvel movies yet. I can't disconnect. We've done the Trek movie, so we're going to have to come up with something else.
Okay, so... So, saw you talking about Twister at Universal. Chuck and I went to So Awesome. Yes, it was. I did that. I thought it was cool. I love the Twister. OG.
Yeah.
Number scene.
He's not wrong. He's not bloody wrong.
I'll be honest with you, that's more iconic. Amazing stuff. Without drones, perfect cast. Okay. Madam Web is on. I might watch it on Netflix. I don't think I'll watch it. I didn't think I'd watch it at the cinema. I'll watch it on Netflix.
I'll watch it because it's got Sydney Sweeney in it.
But the problem with that is she doesn't get a BAPS out.
Need to.
That was everyone's complaint. All right, so thank you very much for joining us on this very special Monday, where we were delayed by a day due to barbecues and bits. So thank you very much for watching. We will be back next week at regular time. And Keith,
regular day. Goodbye. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.